Hey folks, today I want to discuss an absurdity. That's right. It's been a while. This is absurdity, I think, it's number 16. Anyhow, I am going to read a little bit. Not a lot. Very little today. Lambs to slaughter. The human race. You know, I find it totally amazing. Totally absurd. The president or prime minister will say it's time to go to war. We'll just step up and go to war. We'll believe everything. If the government says that, oh, we're in fine shape, we'll believe it. Why? Because throughout history, we're supposed to believe our leaders. Okay? But I don't know. Put a bug in your ass. Because this isn't so. This isn't so at all. Now I know Canadians have a very great link to the Americans. And I know they want to build a wall. No, it just doesn't matter to me. I mean, we have been so bugged and defiled lately that it's unbelievable. But that's another story. Okay? This one is about trees. Now, I find this report utterly amazing. And I am so excited about the report because it is a great report, a great response by the world. And I want to thank my friend Chris for bringing it to my attention. This is called The World is Planting Trees. And see, we're seeing results, you see. And this is on a website called Alternative Home Energy. Okay. Solar Canada, Energy Conference and Trade Show. And it is a network with industry experts and policymakers in Calgary, May 8th and 9th. SolarCanadaConference.ca. Okay. Unfortunately, that's all Canada is even represented in this report. We're planting trees. The UN had a 1 billion tree program. Okay, it's already exceeded that. It's already planted 13.64 billion trees. So they've changed it to the trillion tree program, which just is fantastic news. Here's the downfall that I don't understand. Okay? Cities are playing a leadership role. Melbourne, Australia, doubling its tree canopy to reduce carbon pollution by 40%. The city of Seoul, South Korea, has planted 2,000 trees and gardens. Athens, Greece, planted trees to reduce flood damage. Milan, Italy, is planting 3 million trees by 2030 to combat air pollution. New York, United States city planners planted 1 million trees in 2015 in response to research that showed trees help make people happier and smarter. Oh no, well, you get some oxygen to the brain, I guess that'll work, eh? Well, they originally did this, and they planted that. And it's called the Green Belt Movement. Okay, they planted 30 million trees in Africa. And it's all collaborated. The WWF, the BirdLife International, the Wild Conservation Society, everybody's gone into this, okay? With the support of the UN Environmental Program, encourages individuals, schools, businesses, and organizations to make pledges and get directly involved in tree planting. Plant for the Planet recently bought up 33,300 acres. That's 13,500 hectares in a province in Mexico to plant 10 million trees. Okay? People are finding the creative ways to get involved. Okay? And they've planted 30 million trees so far. Here's some leading countries. Sweden's force. has doubled in the last century. 70% of the country is covered now by trees. Norway, the first country to ban clear cutting of trees to combat deforestation. Gave $1 billion to Brazil to result in 75% reduction in deforestation. I'm having trouble with that word to say. India, China, it's all there. India's volunteers planted 66 million saplings in a half a day. Volunteers in India. Cripes. I got some words for that one. Vietnam. New Zealand. African countries. Hey. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm feeling really bad here. I don't see the United States of America, South America, Canada on here at all. Except that we hosted this conference. Major concerns is Brazil, Central Africa, and Indonesia, because they're just wiping out forests. The Amazon, the rainforest, one of our major ancient forests, is tackling a battle with the lumber industries. That's right, Canada isn't on here because Canadian environmentalists and the amount of clear cutting that's actually happened, they take out $1 trillion, they plant $1 million. They say any more is just too much, too costly. But here's a program that they could tap into. Nope, not happening. New York. The only one in 51 states and how many cities that is even looking at it? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. President Trump in all his genius doesn't believe in global warming. Oh, yes. I remember that, yeah. Oh, forest fires, they'll just regrow. Wake up, people! Really? Where's your pride? Where's your family responsibility for sustainability? What are you going to do with your grandkids and your grandchildren if you can't breathe air? You already know what it's like. How much do you spend on water? Because we've already polluted it so bad it all has to be refined. You're not making any sense. Your lambs to slaughter. You're there for the big corporations? Get some balls and step up. This is crazy. Absolutely insane. I created a group. This is Canada, folks. Not where they planted in a half a day all those trillions of trees for, by volunteers. We're so busy and greedy in our own lives, we can't even spend 3 hours as a volunteer to pick up garbage in a forested area. No. That's just not good. And furthermore, why isn't Canada on there? Mr. Trudeau? I ask you very plain and simple. Why? Why isn't Canada on there? We can host the damn thing, but we can't be part of it? Why isn't Canada mentioned on there? Mr. Trump, you don't believe in global warming. Yet all these new insects are coming. All of these insects that are killing our trees. We got news for you. The trees were there hundreds of years before us. Global warming brings in new insects. Kills trees off. Why? Because trees can't live in that environment anymore. It's that simple. New trees have to be there because the temperatures aren't there to sustain that tree. The climate's not there anymore. So your trees are going to change. And old trees are going to die off. That's ecology 101. Mr. Trump. But, anyhow, lambs to slaughter. You know, you'll go to war at the drop of a hat. Your prime minister, your president, or your elected official says, oh no, they've done this, we'll go to war. And you go to war because you're mad. Well, why don't you get mad because you're losing your life? How much is a life worth? Ask a lawyer when you have an accidental death. When you didn't even cause it. Oh, they'll get you a couple $1 million. Oh, wait a minute, a couple $1 million. How many trees is that? You see the absurdity here? We're being fools. We're being lambs led to slaughter. And unless you wake up to the realities of life, big corporations will run your life all the time. You're going to bullshit about GM moving to Mexico and all of these other things. Well, you know what? If you're going to have that rate of raise and it's going to cost them that much over the year and they're going to save that much over there, that's just straight business. Trump knows that. We have a flat world now. It's changed. Our economy system has changed. You can't go backwards, you got to go forwards to stay on top of it. But the economy is also geared by 13 families worldwide. That 1% that own the majority. And they own your pharmaceuticals. They own your oil companies. They own your lumber industries. Anything that makes big bucks. So don't be fooled. Sustainability is up to you. And you alone. You can step up to the plate. I mean, think about the oil companies. One day, if North America one day stopped driving, how much would they lose? Do you think they'd pay attention? If you don't buy a product, do you think the companies pay attention? Of course they will. Because it hits their bottom line. Lumber's no different. We don't need lumber to build a house anymore. And that's the facts. So we have to wake up. We have to say something. We have to stop it. Because it isn't going to stop otherwise. There's a lot of native people, you know, that had a lot of trouble. Because native people, Native Americans, Native Indians, Aboriginal, whatever, the indigenous tribes, a lot of them were your lumber. They were your cutters. And they had to fight, and they went through hell, a lot of them, to pull back when they realized that they were violating their own spiritual growth. Some still deny it, but they are. But they managed. Those others managed. They found other work. They found other things they could do. That's what has to happen. So step up to the plate. I'm utterly embarrassed by this report because I'm a Canadian. And Mr. Trudeau, you should be embarrassed. Why isn't Canada on there? Why aren't we taking a leading role in reforesting our planet? And America? I thought you were huge. I guess you're not so much. I guess you're trying to be a third world country again. What's going on? Where's your pride? Where's your strength? When I lived down in the States, Man, that was big. I don't see it when you can walk and become wolves or lambs to slaughter. That's it. You take with it what you want, but wake up and smell the roses, or the world will pass you by.